Good evening, and thanks for your patience. I'm a little late getting up here, so I have a statement at the very beginning here, and then we'll be happy to answer some questions when we're finished with that. Fully aware of the unfounded but growing concern in some parts of our community that the investigation and review of this tragic death might not be full and fair, I decided immediately that all of the physical evidence gathered, all people claiming to have witnessed any part or all of the shooting, and any and all other related matters would be presented to the grand jury. Grand juries of 12 members of this community selected by a judge in May of this year, long before this shooting occurred. Our investigation and presentation of the evidence to the grand jury in St. Louis County has been completed. The most significant challenge encountered in this investigation has been the 24-hour news cycle and its insatiable appetite for something, for anything, to talk about, following closely behind with the nonstop rumors on social media. Many witnesses to the shooting of Michael Brown made statements inconsistent with other statements they made and also conflicting with the physical evidence. Some were completely refuted by the physical evidence. As an example, before the results of the private autopsy were released, witnesses on social media, during interviews with the media, and even during questioning by law enforcement, claimed that they saw Officer Wilson stand over Michael Brown and fire many rounds into his back. Others claimed that Officer Wilson shot Mr. Brown in the back as Mr. Brown was running away. However, once the autopsy findings were released showing that Michael Brown had not sustained any wound to the back of his body, no additional witnesses made such a claim, and several witnesses adjusted their stories in subsequent statements. Some even admitted that they did not witness the event at all, but merely repeated what they heard in the neighborhood or others or assumed had happened. After their exhaustive review of the evidence, the grand jury deliberated over 2 days, making their final decision. They determined that no probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson and returned a no true bill on each of the 5 indictments. The physical and scientific evidence examined by the grand jury, combined with the witness statements supported and substantiated by that physical evidence, tells the accurate and tragic story of what happened. That no probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson and return a no true bill on each of the 5 indictments. And scientific
Well, where do we go from here? Oh, gunshot. Gunshot. Gunshot.
Somebody's son. That was somebody's child. Y'all murdered her fucking son! Burn this motherfucking ass! Burn this bitch down! Give me the money! Give me the money! Burn this bitch down! Burn this bitch down! Burn this bitch! Burn this bitch down! Burn this bitch down! Shut it down!
You need to disperse immediately. If you are in the middle of the street, you are lawfully assembled. You will be subject to arrest. Do it now. Stop trying to turn over the police vehicle.
Things heated up pretty quickly. A cop car was flipped over, several windows were smashed. Right now the police are giving the dispersal order.
That's minor to a death, to us losing somebody 18 years old. Them losing a police car, that's minor, man.
All right, cool out.
First and foremost, we are a nation built on the rule of law. And so we need to accept that this decision was the grand jury's to make. There are Americans who agree with it, and there are Americans who are deeply disappointed, even angry. It's an understandable reaction. But I join Michael's parents in asking anyone who protests this decision to do so peacefully.
You need to disperse. If you are in the middle of the street, you are lawfully assembled. You will be subject to arrest. Do it now. You do not
Oh, there you go.
There are reports of gunshots also being fired, and there's a dispersing of the crowd. The police has now moved in. And joining us now, we have former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. It seemed, Mr. Mayor, that from the very beginning that there were people that had made a decision here. It didn't really matter whether or not Officer Darren Wilson was guilty or not. It didn't matter what the evidence would be presented, would show. They had rushed the judgment.
If you're standing in the middle of the street, you're unlawfully assembled. You need to get out of the street immediately.
I don't fear you. I don't fear you.
I think we're too close.
Right into my go right into my car.
Unbelievable. Happened a few minutes ago. It's a way of dispersing people.
So Chris, can you hear
Can
me?
you still hear us, Don?
So Chris, again, if you come to us where we are now, you can see that the gas is
getting
coming
gas right now.
this way. Protesters
You got a guy on the ground over here. They stole his car and they ran over him. He's on oxygen.
I got y'all. Tell them I'll meet them at the safe house. 24/7, unless I'm in jail.
We're gonna ask everybody to get on the street.
Burn this bitch down!
Burn that motherfucker down.
Firefighters have pulled out. There is zero effort being made right now to put out any of these fires here behind me. And look at the cell phone store here is re-caught on fire. You don't see this very often. Firefighters leaving in such a hurry that they leave all of their hoses behind, and that's what you see right out in front of the store right here. There are things exploding inside the cell phone store, and there's a beauty supply store right next to it that is also now fully engulfed in fire. So that was the first fire set. We'll go down West Florissant. We'll show you where you can see some of the police officers here in front of the stores. And now we go down, and that is the storage facility right there. Once again, because of shots being fired, they have pulled out completely. The shots were fired somewhat in the distance from where we're standing right now.
We're just moving from fire to fire. They were in the corridor of Florissant Road, West Florissant, and here on New Halls Ferry. So 3 different areas, and it's just been hampered by people not allowing us to get to let us do our job.
Tell me a little bit more about that. I was talking to some of your men a little bit earlier. You guys were dealing with gunfire out there earlier this night.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not just a little bit of gunfire, a lot of gunfire. So we do everything that we can. and we'll continue to do everything we can, but we are limited to what we can do.
Shots fired. About 8 shots, 9 shots. Let's go back. 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 Multiple shots fired. Back now! All the way back. It's nighttime. We don't know who's firing at who. We're just pulling back out of range.
Those are gunshots. Gunshots. Gunshots here with the quick trip, the north winds. With the quick trip. Holy fuck, man. This is fucking crazy. Those are gunshots.
On inside there from whatever is inside, whether it's... Sorry, I just got hit by a rock. Then you're seeing...
Thing's on fire. Look at that shot, man.
There was a gas station on fire in what we believe is Ferguson, and then a fire at a nearby car lot, and it looks like more of the cars, as you can clearly see, have... Oh,
look at that.
Amidst all the reports of property damage, fires, and unrest in Ferguson, the death of 20-year-old, DeAndre Joshua has gone almost completely unnoticed. Joshua was found dead in his car on November 25th, the morning after it was announced that a grand jury chose not to indict Officer Darren Wilson for the shooting death of Michael Brown. And despite the vast amount of police, protester, and media presence in this small town, there are few to no details about why Joshua was killed that night.
Joshua was found not far from where Mike Brown was killed. He was 20 years old. He was found inside of a car that had been backed up into a parking space of an apartment complex. One shot to the head. Apparently he had accelerant that had been thrown on his body, including on his fingers and on his legs, and someone had tried to light his body on fire. The car was lit as well.
This is St. Louis's race war. We didn't have a race war like other cities throughout the country. This is our race war. And people have to be open, and they have to be honest, and they have to be earnest. And they have not been earnest for decades.
There's been many critics over the past few nights, including the president and including the son of Martin Luther King Jr., that perhaps the protests there are too violent and therefore they're unhelpful to the cause. Would you agree?
Yeah, so out of 110 days, there have been about 4 days of looting or what people characterize as unproductive behavior.
Ferguson was asking why, the city's mayor was asking where. Where was the National Guard?
It was my understanding that they would be deployed if needed to maintain order and protect businesses. They were not.
There was no National Guard soldier standing in front of this building when it was set on fire. Why? Because the Missouri National Guard was ordered to stay off the front lines. Orders that were changed only after the smoke had cleared.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Maybe 10-15 minutes ago, protesters started marching away from the Ferguson Police Department. We're now behind City Hall.
Back up! Yo! You dumbass bitches!
Peaceful!
You dumbass!
We got National Guard just standing there. It's terrible.
And nobody knows what they're doing here.
No, they said themselves they don't know why they're here.
Really?
The only thing they're here for is to protect
the police station.
The police station. That $25 million police station that they just built. Yeah.
Also tonight we have more than 2,200 National Guard that were sent protecting the police department. The National Guard was out in Ferguson in August and September as well. But for the most part, they stood by and were ready to help police if necessary, but they didn't really come out onto the streets. But tonight we saw them help with arrests. They've been dragging people across the street and into the police station.
I I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
continue to West Florissant and Chambers to assist in looting. 287 and 288 to West Florissant and Chambers. Team 281, disregard that previous and respond to detail with the nation to try and secure the